Your four favorites are Empire Records, Call Me By Your Name, Dead Poets Society, and The Outsiders. My top choice for you is My Beautiful Laundrette. It's a coming-of-age film like all four of your favorites. It's got queer romance like Call Me By Your Name. It involves a dysfunctional family like The Outsiders. And like Dead Poets Society, it depicts young men discovering themselves and resisting the identity society tries to impose on them. There's something about your four favorites collectively that makes me think you'd like Rebels of the Neon God. It's another coming-of-age film. It's a 90s film about disaffected youth like Empire Records. There's this sense of longing and fleeting connections like Call Me By Your Name. One of the characters is in cram school, which I know isn't the same as boarding school, but the storyline with school and his parents kind of reminds me of Dead Poets Society. And it's also a crime film like The Outsiders. BPM depicts a tight-knit community of young people like Empire Records. It's a queer film like Call Me By Your Name, and it depicts youthful rebellion and tragedy like Dead Poets Society and The Outsiders. Hearts Beat Loud is also a coming-of-age film. The characters work in a record store like in Empire Records, and there's a queer romance in it like in Call Me By Your Name. Speaking of films set in record stores, I also think you might enjoy High Fidelity. And I like movies set in a video store instead of a record store, but it also fits the coming-of-age theme of your favorites. Pump Up the Volume is another 90s coming-of-age film centered around music like Empire Records, and it's also from the director of Empire Records. And a few other coming-of-age movies that have a lot to do with music that I think you might enjoy since you like Empire Records are Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, Sing Street, and SLC Punk. The music aspect of Empire Records and the queer aspect of Call Me By Your Name makes me think you'd like Velvet Goldmine. You already saw most of the queer films that came to mind when I was thinking of Call Me By Your Name, but you didn't have Happy Together marked as watched, and I think that's worth checking out. I really want to recommend Pillion because there are some elements of it that reminded me of Call Me By Your Name, but I don't know where you're located, and this movie hasn't been released in the United States yet, but it's in theaters in other countries. And a couple coming-of-age queer films I think you might like are Show Me Love and Giant Little Ones. The movies I wanted to compare to Dead Poets Society were already marked as watched, but another coming-of-age film that involves someone acting as a mentor to a group of students is October Sky. Another film that's set in a boarding school like Dead Poets Society that addresses some of the themes that are in your favorites is The Children's Hour. Since you like The Outsiders, I think you'd enjoy Rumblefish, which was also directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and he co-wrote the screenplay with the author of the novel The Outsiders, and you'll recognize a lot of the same actors. But a couple other films involving youth gangs and violence are The Warriors and Len. I know River Phoenix isn't in any of your four favorites, but your profile picture on Letterboxd is of him, and I searched for a lot of movies he was in, and you had so many of them marked as watched, so I assume you're a fan. And if you like movies about music like Empire Records, then a movie about music that River Phoenix stars in is The Thing Called Love.